What if we told you that one of the most powerful tech leaders in history, someone who's seen it all at Google, is now openly admitting that we're on the brink of a future filled with unstoppable AI weapons, privacy nightmares, and corporate greed? Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, just dropped some bombshells in a recently leaked talk that could change the way we view technology, war, and our personal data. And no, this isn't sci-fi. It's happening right now.
A very small number of companies can play this game. Countries, excuse me. What are those countries, or who are they? Countries with a lot of money, and a lot of talent, strong educational systems, and a willingness to win. The US is one of them. China's another one. How many others are there?
Rise of AI and warfare. Eric Schmidt stated quite bluntly what the future of war will be. The future belongs to the offense. The offense always wins, and there's a reason for that. That reason is because the AI-powered offensive systems are built to utterly annihilate the defense. A race is going on among US and others to develop robotic systems for wars that are faster, cheaper, and deadlier. And these are not simply UAVs flying above. These are independent units that have AI and can autonomously decide whether to fire a weapon or not. Picture a massive formation of drones capable of dodging bullets and carrying out precise aerial attacks within cities with very little human coordination. Such state-of-the-art systems are being developed that would make land-based invasions unnecessary.
Watching the Russians use tanks to destroy apartment buildings with little old ladies and kids just drove me crazy.
The issue, however, is that human moral judgment is not built into these technologies. Schmidt himself conceded that these systems could indeed prevent conventional warfare, but could also be abused for the most terrifying purposes, such as targeting a specific person based on his data or to suppress dissent. If George Orwell's visions of the future were only nightmare fantasies, now one has to think twice before swiping into a future filled with these automated robot killers.
And so, for example, one of the debates that we had for the last year has been, how do you detect danger in a system which has learned it, but you don't know what to ask it?
Google's struggles. While Schmidt's insights into AI warfare are alarming, his comments on Google's internal struggles are equally revealing. Schmidt openly criticized Google's recent decision to prioritize work-life balance, remote work, and flexibility over maintaining a competitive edge. He bluntly said that Google decided that going home early was more important than winning. This wasn't just some random gripe. Schmidt connected this cultural shift to Google's failure to keep up with platforms like TikTok, which he claims are now taking over the country by storm. He admitted that Google had all the components to dominate social media early on, but failed to act decisively. This missed opportunity, he suggested, left a gap that rivals like TikTok have exploited, reshaping how people interact, form opinions, and even think. Schmidt doesn't just blame TikTok for its dominance. He also criticizes the US for its hypocrisy. He pointed out that while the US government complains about TikTok influencing its citizens, American companies did the exact same thing to Europe with their social media platforms. And remember why the US government banned TikTok? Because it collected data.
We're going to have knowledge systems that we cannot fully characterize, but we understand their boundaries, right? We understand the limits of what they can do. And that's probably the best outcome we can get.
Data collection. If you're not already concerned about how your data is being used, Schmidt's comments might push you over the edge. He talked about how easy it is for companies and even malicious actors to collect, use, and abuse personal data. Anyone could look up your information online, from landlords to potential employers, even scammers. Schmidt highlighted the importance of regulations like the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe, which aim to protect personal data. However, US isn't doing enough to safeguard its citizens. Our data is more vulnerable than ever, and we need to take action to protect it. Job killer or helper? Another point discussed was the effect AI has on jobs and skills. Should people still learn how to write code when AI systems seem to be doing it for them? His reply? Absolutely yes. Schmidt pointed out that even though many functions of these systems are bound to be performed by AI in the future, it is still important to know how these systems work. However, not everyone is on the same page. The other speaker in the discussion suggested that AI may not necessarily do away with human capabilities, but actually enhance them in a lot of ways. For now, moderately skilled coders seem to be getting the most out of the AI tools in the market. If you are a novice, they do not help much. And if you are an expert, there is a chance that you will find them more of a bother than of assistance. This scenario opens up interesting debates on the future of work, and if AI will actually level the playing field in dealing with complex work or worsen the skill divide. If you are liking the video so far, make sure to subscribe to the channel.
We have a trust problem in our society. Democracies can fail. And I think that the greatest threat to democracy is misinformation, because we're going to get really good at it.
European regulations. Schmidt did not mince his words when discussing the strict AI regulations in Europe. He was critical of the EU's AI Act, asserting that such a provision limits creativity and leaves businesses at a disadvantage in the global arena. These regulations might compel tech titans like OpenAI, Meta, and others to refrain from rolling out new systems in Europe. However, there is a twist here. Schmidt recognized the fact that such stringent data protection measures as those in the EU also have some positive sides. He shared a personal story about how GDPR helped him fight back against companies that were misusing his data. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Schmidt entered the domain of intrusive AI systems, or more simply, AI systems designed to invade other AI systems. He even went so far as to predict that entire industries will spring up around this concept that a company committed to hacking AI models will expose its weakness. Why does this matter? Because AI is taking the forefront, and there comes a moment when knowing how AI fails will be very important. Schmidt proposed that even graduate students could get involved in this field, thus stressing the increasing significance of cybersecurity in the AI era. AI-powered warfare. Let us focus on the theme of war once more, because this is where Schmidt really dropped some jaws. He showed images of AI-enabled drones that are already in the battle in Ukraine. Many of these automated drones are capable of executing many thousands of precision strikes, which are all planned and performed by AI systems. And the chilling prospect, Schmidt thinks, is that this is just the first step. He envisioned a future in which an autonomous machine could act faster than a human being, and thus warfare would purely be a well-thought systematic process. But what is the outcome if these technologies are misused? Schmidt cautioned that there is almost no chance to control the way these systems are applied once they get out. The potential for abuse for everybody from rogue states to terrorist groups are vast. He accepted that the creation of these technologies does not come without a price, one which is a huge moral risk. If the US doesn't lead in this area, someone else will, and they might not have the same ethical standards. This raises a critical question. Should we develop these technologies because we can, or should we set limits to prevent them from being used in harmful ways? Let us know in the comments section below, and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.